fire, burning hotter, climbing higher. 1,000 horses in my veins, freedom pumping through my chains. I'm born to blaze, born to fly, through the steel and smoke we defy. Born to blaze, can't slow me down. The king of the track, the roar of the crown.
Hello race fans and welcome to DRSN. We are live here at Daytona International Speedway for the Half Decent Racing League. These guys ready to rock and roll with one more race before the chase. Gonna be a good chance for some guys to try to work their way in. I believe the top 12 or top 13 are gonna make it here. Brendan McHugh, pretty close to that cut line. Up 14 from the cut line. Up 5 is Todd Rush. Connor Fuge, your Daytona winner, who we're taking a look at right now, is 5 behind. Going to try to get a season sweep here at the World Center of Racing. Going to be a lot of fun here. Appreciate Andrew Socha jumping up in. Try to find some fans. Looks like there's 2 drivers yet to take a lap. We'll see if we can get a look at them in just a few moments. But for now, Matt Dickerson, he's your points leader, currently has the fastest lap of the session. He's your points leader by a wide margin. He's got 210 points over second place Cliff Adams. This happens after 8 wins on the season for Matt Dickerson. Cliff Adams with 4, Jesse Singleton with 6, Benedict Ringer has 1, Colton Gardner has 2 on the season, Brendan McHugh with a win, Connor Fuge. And that's about all of them accounted for here. So we've got 7 different winners on the season, but a race like Daytona can really bring things into perspective for anybody who's, trying to get themselves a race win, or maybe if you're on the outside looking into the chase, gonna get you a good opportunity to get yourself in. All right, just a few minutes left here at the end of qualifying. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in here live on DRSN. It's been an absolute blast watching these guys run through practice, try to learn as much as I can. Got off work just a little while ago. This ended up being a little bit more of a rush than I wanted it to be, but appreciate everybody sticking with me and enjoying the DRSN broadcast. Chris Murphy puts together an amazing show, and I'm just kind of hoping I can be at least close to par with that, maybe a couple over. But gonna give it our best shot as these 18 drivers are going to do the same for 100 laps here at the World Center of Racing. Let's see if we can take a look at Matt Dickerson's lap. 44 machine. It's going to stay smooth and wide open on the bottom of this racetrack, and that's exactly how you want to do it. See these guys take the outside in lap number 1. As a matter of fact, we're going to get straight to the grid. These guys getting ready to get onto the racetrack. And we are ready here for the starting lineup at Daytona. Starting in first, Matt Dickerson with Brendan McHugh to his outside. There we are. Then we've got Colton Gardner with Connor Fuge to his outside, making up row number 2, followed by Cliff Adams and Jack Robbins. 7th place, Kyle Sosha and Benedict Ringer in P8. Sosha's got some fans in the chat. Let me know if I'm saying that right. Aiden O'Neill and Jesse Singleton make up your top 10. TJ Williams, Jacob Barker in 11th and 12th. 13th going to be Justin Kruger with Cody Ziroff to his outside. Then we see Stephen Farrell and Todd Rush. Farrell. There's 2 L's. Farrell. Mark Ozer and Zachary Steele going to round out the field. And Corey Bonanno doing race control for us tonight. Appreciate Corey doing this work for us, as I've spent some time up in the booth with Corey. He is an absolute hoot. It's always a great time, but he's a very professional race controller. So here we go. Ready to rock and roll. The green on the ticker just kind of shows who I'm looking at. Lights are off on the pace car. We've got 100 laps coming our way here at Daytona. Seven different winners this season. Can we make it 8? And speaking of 8, can Matt Dickerson get past 8 wins on the season? Make it number 9. Coming into the restart zone here at Daytona. Great flag in the air, and we are racing in the final race before the chase. Gonna be dead even at the front here. Brendan McHugh. On the outside in that 32 machine, he's able to take advantage, get past Matt Dickerson on the outside, comes down to the inside, coming up off of turn number 2, and now the outside is being led by Connor Fuge in that number 19 Evernham style font on that machine. He's got the 52 pushing him, Jack Robbins. Going up to the outside, side by side as they come through turns 3 and 4 for the first time. Looks like the inside lane is going to have the advantage. It's only an 18-car field, so this pack should be able to stay together fairly well and still give each other a lot of space, which could bode well for these drivers who want to, well, I mean, obviously everybody wants to make it to the end without trouble, but who maybe want to take it a little bit easier for the start of this thing. See some guys moving up to the top, trying to make something work next to the wall. They move back down to the middle, down the back straightaway, and now it's like the 00 trying to work his way up to, rather that's the 80 of Cliff Adams. A little bit of two-car tandem happening at the front of the field. A lot of guys putting down fast laps here at the tail of the field. You can see on your top right, Stephen Farrell with a phenomenal fast lap there, a 47.99, the only driver to get underneath the 48-second range. Brandon McHugh continues to lead this race. Lap 3 complete. Still got a long way to go. That's just about 7.5 miles. Got 242 left. Single file up front here for about the top 5 before you get to Gardner up on the outside of that number 87, Aiden O'Neill. O'Neill representing the Irish in his green 87 machine. So here comes the outside 41, try to get a push from 19. That's Connor Fuge pushing Colton Gardner up on the top. The 52 back there as well. Jack Robbins, Jesse Singleton in this group as well. TJ Williams, Cody Ziroff. If you look towards the back of the field, it's Mark Ozier. Kind of rounding this one out in the 17. Brendan McHugh continues to lead. Matt Dickerson. Still side by side here for the 6th position. Trying to get something happening with a little bit of bump drafting up on the top side. Moza Racing got Dubby on there as well. That number 19. Down the front straightaway, you see the 87 moves up the racetrack. We got one getting right up next to the outside wall. This is the lightest part of the racetrack, the tri-oval. You hear people say it all the time. You don't have a lot of downforce as you go through that turn. That could really upset your car. Now you're seeing some of these guys on the outside trying to get right up next to the wall to continue that momentum down the back straightaway. Question is, do they go down and try to side draft, or do they stay up top and keep that momentum rolling? Into turn number 3 once again. 87 trying to make something happen. Almost a look to go 3 wide from the 51. Jesse Singleton not quite able to make that move happen. Stephen Farrell has put down a 47.77 for the fastest lap of the race. He's going to be moving forward if he gets the opportunity. Still single file for the top 5 positions. Car number 12 down on the inside is the first one that is side by side. That's Jacob Barker with Aiden O'Neill to his outside. Seems like the outside lane stalling out at this stage. Still really early in this event. Doesn't seem like they're able to make much hay right now, as most everybody is seemingly relaxed. A lot of space in between these drivers as well. It seems, I mean, not quite a car length, but it seems fairly respectful as we start this one. 8 laps in here at Daytona in the half-decent racing league. Brandon McHugh holding on to this race lead. He got the job done in Coronado. Quite the opposite style of racetrack with the amount of times you got to hit the brakes and turn right compared to this track just being, for the most part, wide open, turning left. Going to have some points of lifting where you're trying to keep it off of the car in front. You really hope you don't have to turn right. Outside lane losing a ton of momentum. Start to see a little bit more distance there between car 41 and 19. That's going to make that outside lane fall back just a little bit more. .32 up the racetrack about half a lane. Almost looks like he's trying to give that 44 a little bit of air. Jacob Barker moves up to the outside lane. He wants to try to see if he can work some momentum. He's up to the outside of car 98. That's TJ Williams. Once again, able to get side by side for 6. Let's see if these guys kind of stall out. The 29 tags the apron a little bit. Justin Kruger. He's able to keep it moving forward, but definitely not a moment you want to have, especially later in the race on older tires. But the way that this race is shaping up, could see some green flag pit stops. And if that is the case, I would expect to see these guys go 2 tires, maybe even no tires, for the sake of keeping track position. If that is the case, it's going to get awful hectic at the end as these guys try to zip and zoom around, make some moves when it's time to get aggressive. Speaking of aggressive, here comes that outside lane. Now they're trying to get side by side for 5th. Almost a little bit of a 3-wide look there from car number 88. Not quite enough for Zachary Steele to work his way down to the bottom, but the 87 gives a big shove to Jacob Barker, trying to get him next to Benedict Ringer, but couldn't quite get there. Coming up off of the corner, a little bit of a move down to the inside from the 98, and as these guys, oh, there's a bad bump. Got the 12 a little bit squirrely. It's going to allow that top 5 to just continue to drive away. Now you see the 98 able to continue on forward. TJ Williams going to get himself clear and try to pull up to these cars up in front of him. Well, these guys continue to play in the back. Looking up to the outside now is the 98. He's going to allow Zachary Steele to the inside, try to get a shove here from car number 12. Jacob Barker going to fall in line behind him. A little bit of a bump coming up off of turn number 2. Can he get there? He's got the 87 getting right up to his rear bumper. Oh man, 98 getting a little bit squirrely down the back straightaway. That's not what you want when you're leading a lane, and now the 19 gets shoved down to the inside. Connor Fuge going to be able to keep it straight, keeps it in front of the 129 of Farrell. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Saha. All right, gotcha, Saha. A little bit of separation here is now the 17 Fastenal machine might end up losing the draft through that checkup. Sitting right around 7/10 behind and just barely losing. Jesse Singleton just in front of him. Might have to check up here. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough for Mark Osier. '88's got some fans. 44's got some fans. Appreciate everybody tuning in here live on DRSN. Moves happening up front. At 32, he keeps giving almost half a lane to the 44. Not sure if that's by design or if he's trying to give the 44 some air or if he's just not concerned about the 44 getting to his inside. But you go a little too wide at the wrong spot. Dickerson might be able to get himself to the inside. This being a spot right there, he gives him a big shove getting into turns 3 and 4. Didn't quite have enough momentum to stay there and move to his inside, but trying to make something happen down here on the inside lane. A little bit of separation as we move back to the 54 of Cody Ziroff. A couple of them looking up to the outside. Teammates 51 and 52. Jack Robbins and Jesse Singleton. A little bit of a checkup up in the front. Here comes the 54 moving up the racetrack. He's got help from the 55 of Todd Rush potentially. No, they're going to move back down to the inside. Get back into this single file lane. So it seems like it's really tough for these guys to make a big run. At first I was thinking these guys are just playing nice at the beginning, and maybe they are, but seeing these guys unable to get up past 5th place on the outside, this might be a game of track position. It might be a 180-mile-an-hour game of chess. When do you want to come into pit? Can you have a clean pit stop? This group of 5 at risk of losing the draft in front of them, but now we got a little bit of side-by-side action as Barker tries to make a thing happen up on the outside. He's side-by-side for 5th. He's got a little bit of help from the 87 machine, Aiden O'Neill. See what these guys can do. They're side-by-side with Benedict Ringer. Trying to get next to Saha there, and not quite able to, getting into turn 3. Oh, a little bit loose there. Got the 44 off the front bumper of Cliff Adams. It allows the 12 a little bit better chance to get side by side. He's up there for 3rd now. Now here comes that run up on the top. I was expecting to see a little bit earlier. They're side by side for 2nd. Got to pull back a little bit of side draft on the 44. Getting some separation here through turns 1 and 2. Now down the back straightaway, you can see just how close that 87 gets. He's going to get right up on the bumper. Give him a shove. They're side by side for the race lead now. Down the back straightaway. A little bit of a shove on the inside lane as well. It's going to get that 32. Just a hair squirrely, but they're side by side for the race lead going through turns 3 and 4. Jacob Barker to the outside of McHugh. Gets himself a nice run coming up off of turn number 4. But a bump on the inside from the 44 of Dickerson is going to allow McHugh to lead this lap. This is the closest we've seen this pack since the grid, and they are about as close as they gridded. That group of 5 in the back is going to be able to close in. Almost a little bit of 3-wide action there as the 54 got loose, trying to make it down to the inside of the 41. Colton Gardner just in front of him. Thought about making it 3-wide there potentially. Now the outside lane starting to close back in on one another. They're losing momentum, but they're closing in. Little bit of a checkup there. It's going to separate them. Another side-by-side for 2nd. McHugh able to stay out front with this lead. He's able to stay there comfortably. See if Dickerson tries to make something happen. 44, he's won 8 times this year. He's going to try to make it 9. He gets a little bit squirrely, has to check up, and now here comes Jacob Barker on the outside once again. He's going to have a run. He's going to have some draft, but the 44 is going to be able to get to the back bump of the 32 quicker than the 12 can. Those guys have a lot of pent-up energy, or built-up energy there, coming down the back straightaway, right up on each other's rear bumpers. Little bit of a bump. The 12 gets sideways. Check up on the inside. They're still dead even for the race lead. Everybody able to get through that fairly, incredibly cleanly. Down the front straightaway. 19. Oh, and around goes to 12. He's up into the outside wall. He keeps it straight. Everybody else gets through. Oh, no, they don't. The 29, Justin Kruger, down on the inside lane. Oh, my goodness, the 55 upside down. Todd Rush with a wild ride. You got to wonder if there was just no chance of saving that, or what you got. But we're going to take a look here. First car that we saw get sideways was Jacob Barker. Talked about it just a little bit ago. This tri-oval is one of the lightest places on the racetrack. This is not what I want. So he gets a bump there from the 87. Then we're going to be looking at Justin Kruger, who checks up. He gets a tag there from the 51. Both him and the 55 flying down to the inside lane. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was a situation he could have saved or if that was just a give up grenade, but take another look. Definitely a wild ride here for car number 55. And it looks like he does collect the 29 in there once again. Everybody making pit stops. Brandon McHugh going to lead them off. Potentially a 2-tire stop there. Todd Rush, I believe, will be out of the race after that accident in turn number 1. Yeah, I mean, tough break there for Todd as we kind of took a look at that. You could see how much he was bouncing across the infield road course and stuff like that. I mean, you can't really stop a car when your wheels aren't on the ground. That is a little known fact, maybe a well-known fact. Jacob Barker and Justin Kruger gonna stay in the pits and get some more damage repaired. Brendan McHugh continues to lead this thing. So we are 20 laps in out of 100. Should be getting the 1 to green this time around. Daytona is generally good at having fairly quick cautions. Oh, that's what it is. I was curious as to why there was a random street stock allowed into this race. He is the choose cone. Corey Bonono, the enforcer, the race control man. He is the choose cone. That's incredible. That is incredible. That's a really clever way to be able to actually enforce a choose cone. That way everybody is clear about where it is, and well, there's quite the penalty if you hit it. Well, doubled up here once again. Going to be Brendan McHugh, Cliff Adams, Aiden O'Neill, Matt Dickerson, Colton Gardner, Kyle Saha, Cody Zeroff, Benedict Ringer, Connor Fuge, and TJ Williams rounding out the field. Stephen Farrell, Mark Osier, Zachary Steele, Jack Robbins, Jesse Singleton, Justin Kruger able to get back out onto the racetrack. Right now, Jacob Barker pulls out of the pit lane, but he is going to be at risk of going a lap down. These guys work through turns 3 and 4. First caution of the race. In the first restart at lap 24. See what happens here after the first restart. We've lost 1 car. Jacob Barker not going to be able to get back up to the draft, still about half a lap down. So we'll say 16 in this lead pack. Green flag back in the air. And an amazing restart for the inside, well, for the leader. The inside lane does not get such a great restart behind him. Here comes Cliff Adams moving down to the bottom side to get in front of Dickerson. And Aiden O'Neill up to the top side, going to take this momentum. Not going to have it for very long as the inside lane starts to build up some energy, being inches away from each other's bumpers. It's going to allow those pushes to just do that much more. Be able to push that 32 out to the front, but now here comes help on the outside, the 41. Gonna make a big push. That's Colton Gardner trying to push Aiden O'Neill out to the race lead. He's got him nosed out front, getting into turn 3. Meanwhile, the second row is all over the back bumper of the first row of cars. Little bit of shifting around from where we took this restart, but still just completely double wide, gridded up, ready. The only difference is it's 180 miles an hour compared to 70 that last time around. Outside lane able to make a little bit more hay this time. But now here comes the fight back with Brennan McHugh. See what Cliff Adams can do, but Aiden O'Neill, he's got a big shove from car number 41. Outside lane able to get more momentum this time around than they were on the initial start of the race. And now the top two on the outside going to move down to the inside. Aiden O'Neill, Colton Gardner take over the top two positions as here comes Cody Zuroff up on the outside trying to make something happen. He's got help from Fuge. The number 19 machine got the job done here in the season opener. Trying to get it done for the second time in a situation that will very likely put him into the playoffs. The chase rather. Don't have a win and you're in, but with only 5 points behind the bubble, you gotta believe that a win is just gonna push him over. Gets a little bit loose there off the front bumper of the 19. Aiden O'Neill continues to lead this one. Up the racetrack goes Zuroff, and we'll see if Fuge tries to make it to the inside. He looked at it, but doesn't do it. Side by side now for 4th place as there's a little bit of contact between Cliff Adams and the 54 of Zuroff. You got to wonder if Huge maybe got into the back of him, got him a little bit loose in that tri-oval. "27 laps out of 100. It's 27%. This is the easiest percentage bar you're going to be able to look at in terms of a race completion. Todd Rush has made it back onto the racetrack in that 55 car. O'Neill leads the race. Here comes the 32, looking up to the outside. Brendan McHugh able to get side by side for second with Gardner. He's got a big run. He's got big help from Cliff Adams. No help there on the inside lane. Can the 87 work up, try to block that run? Little bit loose there for the 32, coming up off of turn number 2, but he's going to be able to get to the outside. Down the back straightaway. Getting into turns 3 and 4. Once again, the outside lane. Ooh, a little bit loose there for the bump off of Cliff Adams. Heck of a push. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here on the inside lane. I suppose we're not really stage racing. Working lap number 29. McHugh back up front. Spent a good portion of the beginning of this race up front. Got passed for the lead on that restart. Oh, a little bit loose there. Once again, the 80 is just all over the back bumper of the 32. He's getting him a little bit sideways. That DRSN machine, Cliff Adams. Looking pretty strong. Looking pretty quick. You might want to get a little bit of grease on that front bumper on the next pit stop. Oh, a little bit loose there coming up off of turn number 4. Almost some contact as we're 3 wide. That Temu machine, TJ Williams. Rather, Benedict Ringer there in the Temu machine. Side by side for second place, trying to make a run. 32 moves up the racetrack to block it. Brendan McHugh in front of Aiden O'Neill. O'Neill can't quite get clear. Oh, he's going to get to the back of him. Oh, man, O'Neill tried to work down to the inside lane. Not quite enough space. Might have been a check up there out of the 80. So they worked into turn number 3. Coming up off of turn number 4. These guys are going to start getting a little bit more loose. No, there's a lot of 2-tire and no-tire stops that last time around. We've got 30 laps complete this time around. So these tires are really going to be getting some heat on them as here comes Aiden O'Neill looking up to the outside once again. Try to get some help here from Colton Gardner and Connor Fuge on the outside. Cliff Adams back to the back bumper of Brendan McHugh. Brendan looking pretty strong in that 7-11-32 machine. Oh, a little bit of contact on the back straightaway. Fuge got loose, he got hit, he got loose, got into the side of Dickerson, but everybody able to continue on. TJ Williams with a little bit of a blinking issue. We've seen him kind of come in and out once or twice. Not something you want to have continue on. Side by side for the race lead once again. McHugh with a big push. Potentially a bad one there from the 80. Cliff Adams is definitely aggressive here today. Just don't want one of those pushes to fall at a bad time, at a bad angle. Aiden O'Neill able to get that push out front. He's almost clear for the race lead, but here comes the inside lane, making it happen once again. Dickerson pushing Adams. Adams pushing McHugh. Try to make it happen coming up off of turn number 4. Meanwhile, here comes Fuge trying to get closer to Gardner on the outside. They're dead even, but McHugh is going to get him at the line. No, O'Neill at the line. Just by a hair. He's going to get that run getting into turn number 1. Does he move down to the bottom or does he stay with the 41? Oh, he's going to move up. I think the 41 expected him to move down and kind of worked his way up the racetrack in anticipation. Didn't work out that way. Good thing these guys didn't collide in the worst way. That's going to allow McHugh to try again here. He's about half a car length now. He's clear for the race lead once again, getting into turns 3 and 4. But here comes McHugh back to the inside of Aiden O'Neill. Side by side everywhere here in the top 12. Couple of stragglers towards the back, and then Todd Rush back there as well. Jacob Barker still hoping for another caution to come out soon so he can get caught up before losing a lap. If he does go a lap down, he's going to have to contend with Todd Rush to try to fight for that free pass position, or he's got to hope for a caution flag soon. Aiden O'Neill got to work his way down to the bottom of the racetrack. 41 tries to follow, not enough space. Connor Fuge follows that lane down. Looked like they both got a little bit loose on the transition. Oh man, we're tightening up here at the tri-oval. Inside lane starting to peek out in front once again. Brendan McHugh has Cliff Adams giving him amazing pushes. He had Dickerson behind him at the beginning of the race. He's been able to keep a good front bumper to his rears. They're getting close down the backstretch once again. Aiden O'Neill trying to find a way to make that outside lane work. He's got a lot of momentum up there. Dickerson isn't quite able to get to him. As a matter of fact, he almost had a hole to jump down in front of the 44. He's going to move back up in front of the 41, though. Try to get that push. He could still move down if he... Now he couldn't. Little bit of a bump there. Dickerson able to close into the back bumper of the 80, and then here comes Saha in that 11 machine. Oh, 98 going to move down to the inside. We're 3 wide, just a little bit further back. 54 and 29 make a little bit of contact, and yeah, 98, I think he heard he was blinking and got up out of the way. A little bit of wall contact there for Benedict Ringer. He's going to try to fall back in line here and not lose the draft. Top 4 single filed out. They've got a little bit of a gap there over the 87. He's got the opportunity now to move down to the inside if he would like to, but looks like he's pretty content rocking the middle lane. .36.5 laps complete here. This guy's absolutely flying through Daytona. Oh, whoa, there's a bit of a moment. He's going to come back up the racetrack. Contact, a couple of them into the wall. The 52 sideways. And there's a, man. Caution comes out. Oh, and there's more contact. The 88 goes down to the inside. Hard contact with the 17 to the inside wall. Little bit of contact there for the 88, Zachary Steele. Mark Osier has to come in and pit. Let's see what we can see here. So this is where it all starts. 52 gets sideways down the backstretch. 19 and 41 get up into the outside wall. 51, 52, they hit a couple of times, and then back up the racetrack comes to 52 or 51 into the 129. Huge hit there for the 17 we were riding on board with. Well, that was the big one that should have happened but didn't. My goodness, these guys are incredible. I'd like to think I'm good at this stuff, but I counted about 4 different times where I would have lost it. 4 different drivers made the save. Everybody was able to save it until the very end. The 88 and 17 made a little bit of contact checking up for that crash, and that sent them down into the inside wall. Kyle Petty always used to like to talk about these chain reaction crashes. You know, you get that first incident, then the chain reaction creates a follow-up wreck. You know, oftentimes there's 2 wrecks every time there's 1 wreck here at a super speedway. And that was kind of one of those situations where, you know, we got the caution, but everybody was still checking up. We had a lot of speed differential, and unfortunately took a couple of drivers out of contention. See if Ulster's able to get that fast repair after the tow. Zachary Steele, Jacob Barker getting some more damage repaired. They don't want to have to use that fast repair. Jacob Barker also was able to stay on the lead lap. Caution came out at kind of the perfect time for him. Todd Rush. Believe he's getting the free pass right now. So he should go down to 1 lap down. See how long Barker and Steele decide to stay in the pits. Ulster coming out of the pits now. Actually, I'm not sure if the 55 is getting the free pass here. Either way, these guys are coming up off of turn number 4. Jacob Barker gets out of the pit lane. See what Zachary Steele does. Take a look at the choose. So doubled up once again. Going to be Brendan McHugh with Kyle Saha, Cliff Adams, Justin Kruger, Aiden O'Neill, Jesse Singleton, Cody Zuroff, Colton Gardner, Connor Fuge, Jack Robbins. Round out your top 10. Well, we do apologize for staying quiet there for a moment. Amazing Xfinity finish, or sorry, a NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race. Had a good finish. So, taking this moment here under caution to take a moment. Repetition there. Sorry. We're about to have an amazing finish in this race in about 60 laps, and that's what I need to be focused on. Coming up off of turn number 4, the pace car, ready to make that hard left turn. Green flag back in the air. McHugh able to get away. Outside lane. A little bit of separation, but here comes the 11. Kyle Saha trying to make something happen. Off of turn number 2, the top 2 able to get a little bit of a tandem as they're side by side behind them. They're going to start pulling away. They're about half a second in front of third place right now, but they're getting a little bit separated from each other, so that's going to hurt their speed, allow this pack to close back in. And I tell you what, if these guys can get single file, they're going to get a massive run on those 2 in front. You don't want to get too far out front here at Daytona. There's a bit of benefit from having a car to help you. These guys staying side by side. It's side drafting, though. That's really allowing those top 2 to take advantage of the space that they have. Not allow those guys behind them to get a big run. But now here comes Aiden O'Neill. Car number 87. Gonna get himself a run coming up off of turn number 2. Does he take it? He's thinking about it. He does take it. Gonna try to side draft Cliff Adams in the 80. Gets himself a nice run. Side by side down the back straightaway for second. He's going to need some help if he wants to try to close in on Brendan McHugh. Side by side here for second once again. Brendan McHugh loves this view in his rearview mirror. He's able to play the Austin Hill line. He's able to play the Dale Jr. Pied Piper line and just go where the run is and take his momentum. Now that these guys are going to get single file, that might allow O'Neill an opportunity to get next to him. He tried to go down to the inside, but kind of swiped his back bumper. Now he looks to the outside. He's got help there from Adams. Adams to the back bumper. No! A little bit of contact there from Adams. Got Aiden O'Neill sideways and looked like he was going to swing right back up in front of the field. Phenomenal save there as these guys have been full of amazing saves, amazing races here tonight. And here's going to be a crash. O'Neill up into the outside wall. The 29 gets a piece of it. This is the big one. Upside down goes O'Neill. 41. Gardner gets a piece of it. The 129 caught up as well. Connor Fuge in the center of this mess as well. And you can see Aiden O'Neill was just racing for the lead. Has to take a tow. That's going to put him way behind the 8-ball. So let's take a look. So 29 moves up the racetrack. Does he get a block there from the 11? And potentially that's what checks him up. But then there's some contact between the 41, 51, and 29. That's a chain reaction once again. Cliff Adams gets a hit. 51 also gets just a couple dings and dents. 44 was able to get through there. Dickerson with minimal damage. You see the 87 rolling over. Gardner gets a piece. Fuge with big damage. See Ringer up on the outside. Take another look. This time in real time. Caution out once again here at Daytona. It's the third caution of the race. Here working lap 45 out of 100. You can see the heavy damage there on the 87 of O'Neill. A lot of guys taking this opportunity to get a pit stop in, maybe get some extra fuel. Not seeing a lot of guys taking a long pit stop here. Brendan McHugh takes tires. Cliff Adams takes tires. Both of them about a 15-second pit stop. Well, we're going to go ahead and step side by side for a moment. Let you guys hear from AI Chief. You'll hear from them a bunch. Trust me.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action. Now, driver.
Back live. Ready to roll. Lights are off on the pace car. Kyle Saha. Benedict Ringer going to be to his outside. We've got Cody Zeroff and Matt Dickerson. Jacob Barker, Jesse Singleton, Connor Fuge back here. Brendan McHugh towards the back of the field. Cliff Adams and Colton Gardner round out the top 10. Todd Rush able to get back onto the lead lap. TJ Williams getting some damage repaired along with Stephen Farrell. Looks like Will Farrell, so I'm going to say Farrell. Zachary Steele is, well, there he is. Justin Kruger, Mark Osier, Jack Robbins. And Aiden O'Neill just getting back out onto the racetrack. So all 18 drivers still on the racetrack with 45 laps complete. Going to be 46 when we take the green flag this time. These drivers are ready. Well, just about ready for the second half of this show. Going to be at least one more pit stop needed before the end of this thing. See if we can take a look here at the standings. Talked about them just a little bit before. That 13th place, that's what we're looking at. Matt Dickerson with a lot of points. A 210-point lead over second place. Green flag back in the air. Oh, man. What's Benedict Ringer might have missed a shift there on the outside. He dropped like a rock, fell in line, and got a big bump there from the 54. Seems like he's okay now. Coming up off of turn number 2, the inside has about 4 formed up, 3 on the outside. 32 of McHugh trying to work his way back up to the front. Jacob Barker, we saw him get sideways racing up in the front. He's trying to work his way up into 4th place. He's got the pass completed over the 44 of Dickerson. Dickerson falls in line in front of McHugh. 51 going to fall in, or sorry, in front of Fugue. 51 of Singleton falls in line in front of McHugh. Car number 11 leading this thing. You can see from up above that 54 trying to make a move onto the outside, but has no help. A little bit of contact there with Ringer. Some contact further back. These chain reactions, they happen very quickly at 180 miles an hour. 190. As these guys enter the corner. A little bit more door and down the back straightaway. You really don't want to be doing that as you get into turn 3. Now here comes Barker down to the inside. Going to try to get there is also Dickerson. 54 seems like he's able to pull that side draft and kind of hold stationary at times, but really putting some work in on trying to make something happen on the outside all by himself. Now he moves up the racetrack. Nothing really much for him to do. Kyle Saha looking for his first win on the season. Benedict Ringer looking for his second. Jacob Barker, he's looking for his first. Here comes Fuge. Up to the outside. He won at Daytona in February. So we know he knows how to get it done in this package. He's got help from Dickerson, the winningest driver in the series this season. Tell you what, if there was a power combo, power couple to work with here at Daytona, that would be the one I would go with. A little bit of side draft there with Barker. He's going to get the 19 side-by-side for second. Could get there for the lead. Just almost a little bit of side draft. The 11 slides up the racetrack. Doesn't quite have enough to get side-by-side for the race lead. Coming up off of turn number 4. Kyle's going to move up. Kyle's going to move back down. Caution is out. Not sure I see anything on the racetrack. I believe that's a halfway caution. So caution out For the fourth time here today, we are officially halfway through the race here at Daytona. Wait on the pace car to make that move around. Get in front of your race leader. Pick up the rest of the field. While these guys take a little halfway break, I'm going to go ahead and do the same here. Be right back here on DRSN.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action. Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AI Chief Racing.
Alright, that's enough from AI Chief. Amazing sponsor for us. We appreciate everything they do here on DRSN. Another group that always helps us out is Admin Box. Can't thank them enough for hanging out with us. You can visit their website at www.adminbox.com. There's 2 X's on box, so adminbox with an extra X.com. Take control of race administration with Admin Box, a plug-and-play button box designed specifically for league officials and race control. Features pre-programmed commands with no key binding required, making race management easier and more efficient. You can save 10% with code DRSN-BOXX. Appreciate you guys tuning in here live for the Half Decent Racing League. I know they say half decent, but I would argue that these guys are full decent. We've seen plenty of amazing saves throughout the course of this race. Seen a couple of crashes for sure, but man, I think the what-ifs are the main story of this thing. Now it looks like with this caution flag, we've given everybody the opportunity to get back onto the lead lap. However, a lot of these guys who were off of the lead lap, they're not going to be able to, Well, they're not going to have those fast repairs that some of these guys up front might still have. So we come up off of turn number 4, ready for the second half of the second race of the season at Daytona. One final race for the regular season before we make it to the chase. Green flag back in the air. Connor Fuge going to lead him down over Matt Dickerson on the outside. You know what? While we have a moment, let's crank it up. All right, well, I thought that was going to work out a little bit better. Couldn't quite get the cars as loud as I am. Matt Dickerson leads the race over Brendan McHugh. Connor Fuge in third place. Jacob Barker, then Kyle Saha. "45 laps to go, and definitely going to be one more pit stop for these guys. Does it happen under green flag conditions? I think it's entirely possible that it does. Side by side there for fourth place. You see the 80, Cliff Adams trying to make something happen. He's got help from Benedict Ringer. Little bit of serpentine action up on the outside lane. Not something that you're really going to be comfortable with if you're trying to move forward, but definitely want to be able to try to square up those pushes. All 18 drivers still in this pack this time. Aiden O'Neill, he's sitting towards the back of it. Still got a little bit of rear end damage. Not sure exactly what that came from. I would imagine he took the fast repair after the flip. I'm just assuming there's a fast repair because there's no way that some of these guys would be back out of the racetrack without one. Especially looking at the 55 and the 17. Both had huge impacts in the first half of this race. So Dickerson and McHugh, the way they started this race, just backwards. McHugh was leading for a good handful of laps at the beginning and had a big push from the race leader, Matt Dickerson. And now the roles have reversed. Connor Fuge in third place, trying to have himself a strong points day over Todd Rush, which so far is working out for him. Todd Rush sitting in 13th position. I believe Connor Fuge in favor there. If the race were to end right now, I believe Connor Fuge would make the playoffs, running third, or the chase. Old habits die hard. These are still Xfinity cars to me. Dickerson slides up the racetrack a little bit, coming up off of 2. I'm almost certain that he's trying to get some air to the front end of the 32 so that they can stay together and work together for longer. Fuge slides up the racetrack on entry just a little bit. Gets close there to Cliff Adams, and that might allow Cliff to kind of pull up to him. But now Cliff goes sideways, or not sideways, but way up to the outside. Gets himself a huge run side by side here for third place. Ringer going to try to give him a shove down the front straightaway, get him side by side for second. He's got the momentum, but can they stay there through turns 1 and 2? Looks like they are going to be able to. Dickerson doesn't quite have the momentum that he wants to have from the 32. Here they come up off of turn number 2. Jacob, oh, trouble! Turn back straightaway. 17 has got a piece of it. Todd Rush gets another hit. 98 spinning down to the inside wall. TJ Williams should be able to keep it off of that inside out. No, he had some pretty significant right front contact there. Jesse Singleton, I believe, was in the midst of that. Mark Osier was sideways down the back straightaway. TJ Williams seems to have the worst damage from that. I mean, doesn't look like it right now, but that right front was not moving. Take another look-see and try to decipher what happened. See, the 29 and 54 side by side. 29 was the first one I saw get sideways. Oh, so there's a checkup on the inside. We see the 12 got down to the inside lane. Oh, and the 54 gets into Kyle. Rush just gets hit in the right rear. I mean, there's nothing he can do at that point. 11 still out of control, kind of driving through him. Seems about 8 cars involved in that pileup, maybe 9. Right on board with Steele here. It happens right in front of him. Just nothing he could do. He was just bouncing off of everything. He's on board with Kruger. And you could hear the skids for just a fraction of a second before the contact. Right on board here with the 11. Checks up and don't want to say he got run over, but that's how he's going to feel about it for sure. A little bit of contact from his outside set him up into the outside wall, and you're never going to feel great about that. So caution out here for the 5th time today on lap number 62. Going to be 63 across the start-finish line this time. Gonna get the restart this time around. So we got Ringer on the outside, Dickerson, and Connor Fuge. McHugh, Adams, Barker, Gardner, Robbins, Steele, and Aiden O'Neill in your top 10. As these guys get ready to roll, the final 40 laps, the final 100 miles are already underway. Going to be lap 63 when these guys take the green, 64 rather, 63 complete when they take the green flag. And the intensity is only going to ratchet up from here. A lot of guys came in and pitted under this caution. Almost everybody did. If we were to go green to the end, the question is, can you make it 40 laps? And if you can't, how much fuel are you going to need to put in? Are we going to see a situation where these guys start to save fuel? Even if they are, it's not going to look like next gen did. But they could try to save it to make it to the end, and that will throw a wrench in some of these guys' plans. Green flag back in the air, Matt Dickerson. Benedict Ringer going to lead him down. Everything clean and green throughout the pack so far. Cody Zuroff is still... he's at the tail end of the lead lap, and just barely one lap down. He's still in this pack. Yeah, there he is at the tail end of it. But Dickerson going to lead them for now. Ringer falling back just a little bit on the outside. Fuge trying to get closer and closer to make something happen. Side by side for third place up front. It's still the 44 of Dickerson. Big fan of these wider shots. Oh, the 19 rather, gets loose coming up off of turn number 2. Connor Fuge going to lose a couple of spots to the 52 of Jack Robbins and the 87 of Aiden O'Neill. Here comes Barker all over the back bumper of that 19, trying to muscle him forward, but just not quite enough momentum as these guys work the outside in turns 1 and 2. Oh, a little bit of contact up front. Cliff Adams gets into the back of Brandon McHugh. Caused a bit of a checkup for these boys up front, but they're going to be able to continue forward. Top 5 able to get away a little bit. Aiden O'Neill trying to make something happen on the outside with Connor Fuge. Are they going to jump down to the bottom? It seems like Aiden wants to. But the 129 is going to move down to the inside of Fuge. He's going to have himself a nice run. Really able to pull on the draft in front of him, take that toe as the outside lane going to try to get formulated once again. Aiden O'Neill. You can read every sponsor on that thing. Fastest lap of the race was just set by one Todd Rush. He sees the 19 in front of him and knows that he cannot finish within 5 spots of him in the front side of things. He's got to finish within 5 spots of car 19 to be able to keep him out of the championship. But at this stage in the game, when they've both been involved in heavy accidents, neither one of them have a fast repair. How aggressive do you want to be? Todd Rush right now sits in 12th place. Still 17 cars in the race, 16 on the lead lap. New fast lap of the race. Justin Kruger, car 29. He just put down a 47.48. That is blazing fast here. Running over 190 miles an hour on average throughout the course of that lap. That is incredible speed. Take a look at what he's doing here on the outside. He's got plenty of space in front of him. Moves down to the inside to try to take this toe. Might be a little bit of a checkup in front of him, though. He's got to let up off of the gas as things start to heat up front. Dickerson does not want the 32 off of his bumper. However, it seems like Cliff Adams wants to push that 32 straight on past. And with that type of miscommunication, that's allowing the outside lane to get up there, get side by side for second, and start to close in on that 44 who's racing in the lead. Coming up off of turn number 2, the 44 going to stay loyal to the inside lane. Not a lot of help on the outside. Fuge gets a bit of a push here for Barker, but the inside lane seems to have it figured out, at least for the moment. Oh, a little bit loose there for Aiden. Remember, Aiden's got a little bit of damage to that rear end that might cause him to be a little bit loose as they go side by side through the front straightaway. And I know that camera is not the most appealing through the tri-oval, but everywhere else it's great. New race leader, Aiden O'Neill. Connor Fuge pushes him. Here comes Barker up on the top. Jacob Barker. Car number 12 gets a little loose there coming up off of turn number 2, and you're going to see that a lot more. Almost everybody took no tires that last caution. I wonder if Aiden maybe took tires, but oh, here comes Fuge looking down to the inside. Momentarily, not enough to make it happen. Now Dickerson's starting to move up the racetrack to try to get some side draft, try to pull those top guys back to him. Aiden O'Neill through to the race lead. Connor Fuge just about clear for second. Barker going to try to get there. Here comes the 19 down to the bottom for the race lead. Connor Fuge trying to go 2 for 2 at Daytona in 26. See if he can get the lead here. He's got a push from Dickerson. Dickerson's got help from McHugh, and Adams just behind on the inside lane. But don't forget, we've got Aiden O'Neill, Jacob Barker, and Colton Gardner up on the top side. 19 moves down to the inside. Little bit of contact. Cliff, what are you doing, bud? He's going to check up. He's going to slide up in. Around goes Ringer. Around goes Adams. Singleton goes around as well. The caution comes out for the 6th time today. See what happened to send that 80 sideways down the back straightaway. A little bit of a checkup on the inside. Oh, he just got hit. And he might have been okay to rejoin if the 83 wasn't exactly where he was. But both cars are going to get some significant damage. Looks like the 51 able to get away with minimal contact, but Cliff Adams is going to be hoping there's another fast repair that he potentially hasn't used his yet. So I believe he had to take a tow. Bit of a checkup on the inside lane. Cause these guys to get squirrely. I mean, there's not much you can do there, inside or out. It's just a kind of a tough racing deal. It's working lap number 71 here at Daytona. Another group that helps us out a lot, Simpson Racing Pedals. Upgrade your sim racing experience with Simpson's line of load cell pedals and sim racing hardware. Known for delivering excellent performance and adjustability at a competitive price point. Visit www.simpson.com. There's two N's on Simpson. SIMSONN.com. Save 8% with code Chris Murphy. Six cautions here at Daytona as we are just about at the 3/4 mark. Has been absolutely incredible stuff. These guys working together and working hard to put together runs to take over the race lead. Fuge and O'Neill are two that I would look at. And we've got McHugh and Dickerson that work very well together. What other kind of pairings do you think we're going to see throughout the course of this thing? Appreciate everybody tuning in here live on DRSN here on YouTube. It's been an absolute blast. We see you, Matthew Hobbs. Been a little bit there. Andrew Saha doing pretty good. Jay Bird liked what I said. Pretty cool. Appreciate you guys all tuning in and having some fun here on a Friday night. These Xfinity cars always put on a great show, and if you guys haven't gotten enough from the great show that the NASCAR Xfinity Series O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's O'Reilly Auto Parts. Old habits die hard. But if you guys enjoyed that action and you're just now tuning in and seeing what these guys have to offer, it's been incredible. A lot of side-by-side racing, a lot of really good pushes, incredible saves, some close laps, and it's only gonna light up from here. I mean, the heat is only going to continue to come. All right, there is the choose car. I love that so much. Choose car in the middle of the racetrack, making it very obvious where you have to be before you get to the line. So we did make the choose, but looks like we're going to add an extra lap here. Benedict Ringer coming up off of the pit lane. See if we get the lights back off the pace car here. Should be everybody right here ready to go. Yep, lights are back off on the pace car. I'm thinking what happened there was when the choose car drove off at the racetrack, iRacing kind of automatically threw that out as a crash. So, deemed the track unsafe, tried to add an extra lap. Master of race control and choose car, Corey Bonino, said, no, not doing that. We're going green this time. Gonna have 26 laps to go when we take the green flag. Aiden O'Neill back up at the front. Gonna try to bring this home. Long way to go. Short while to get there. Given the fact that nobody has come in to make a pit stop, I think these guys are in it to the end. Pace truck about ready to make that hard left turn once again. And there he goes. An unnaturally hard left turn. Into the United Rentals restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Aiden O'Neill gets away strong. Little bit of a check up there on the inside lane as they were playing a little bit of bumper tag. The outside lane really got snookered there at the start. Jacob Barker has a ton of traffic behind him, trying to get a big push from car number 44. Brandon McHugh down on the inside lane trying to get to the back bumper of the 41. But it looks like, once again, seeing the top two able to get together and get away while the rest of them try to separate things out. That's a tough spot to hit. You don't really want to hit in the left rear. That can really upset the car in front of you. Surefire way to spin somebody out is to hit him on the left rear at a transition point. And here comes a 44 looking to the middle, 3 wide. He says, I don't care about Jacob Barker's race. I'm Matt Dickerson. I've won 8 times. Let's make it number 9. Ooh, down to the inside goes Farrell. He's going to lose a couple of spots. No, he's not. He's going to stay in his position. He was able to rejoin successfully. Maybe a little bit of contact there with Kyle Saha, but if so, not enough to be a detriment. These guys down the back straightaway, you see Ringer giving a big push to Todd Rush. Todd Rush trying to close in on the 19 of Fuge, who sits in second place. Fuge has to think in his head the only way to guarantee himself a spot in the chase is to win this race. That way it doesn't matter where the 55 finishes. But as of right now, they come into this race only 5 points apart. Go ahead and show you once again. Oh, let's do that real quick. But go ahead and show you once again the standings. Looking at this 13th and 14th place battle, there's a 5-point gap between him and Todd Rush. Brandon McHugh has been phenomenal all race. He is in front, but he's going to have to gap him by a couple of more positions than he would have to gap the 55. Aiden O'Neill up in the front. Led a good portion of this race so far. Not quite as much as the 44 or the 32 have, but been able to find himself at the front of the field. O'Neill, another driver looking for his first win on the season. With less than 25 to go here at Daytona. Still a long way to go. But it is not out of the question. As long as you still got 4 wheels and an engine, it's not out of the question. Track position helps a ton, though, as Aiden O'Neill finding out right now he's getting a little bit of a shove there from the 19. Got them both squirrely. That could allow Dickerson a chance to get a run here down the front straightaway as he gets side by side for second. Trying to pull that 19 back a little bit. He does so. He's able to pull him off of the back bumper completely of the 87 Aiden O'Neill. This side draft is incredibly effective. Every time you see somebody right up on somebody's bumper, then somebody gets next to them, and they fall off of that bumper, that's because the front bumper of the lead car, or the trailing car, actually pushes air behind the rear wheel. Pushes it up onto the spoiler, but mostly behind the rear wheel. It shoves that air out of its way. Nowhere for it to go but into that small crevice and next to the car you're next to. And it kind of parachutes that. You know, you get a little bit more air into a spot where the air doesn't have a way to escape. That's going to slow the car down. That's what you see when we talk about this side draft here and why you might see a little bit of a gap when they're side by side between the cars that are not side by side in front of them. Right now, 41 is closing right in out of the rear bumper of the 19. Almost a little bit of contact there as the 44 trying to make it happen. Dickerson on the outside. Try to pull that 19 back. And if you guys remember earlier in the race when that 54 was kind of holding on the outside a little bit, that's what he was doing. He was pulling that trailing car back, and he was waiting for a checkup up in the front of him so that he could stay with that group. Side draft is incredibly important here at Daytona, Talladega. I mean, realistically, a lot of tracks that you hit over 160, 170 miles an hour at, you can really utilize. There's a nice use of side draft there down the back straightaway. Let's go from high above so you guys can get a good view of 7 versus 5. 5 drivers on the outside versus 7 on the inside. Oop, 11 moves up the racetrack. That's going to cause some momentum. '19 gives a tap to the 87, pushes him forward through the corner. That shorter lane is going to allow the 87 a chance, but there's that side draft from the 44. He got right up next to the 87, pulled him back on the outside. Now he drives away so that this 87 doesn't have the same chance to side draft him back. Fortunately, a nice run down on the inside. He's going to make that a moot point. Once again, Aiden gets that push forward from Connor Fuge. Colton Gardner just behind Connor. That 41 machine looking pretty stout. Still side by side for second place. $18 laps to go this time around. 16 drivers still on the lead lap with a chance to win this race. Things are only going to heat up and intensify from here as we get closer and closer to that 250-mile mark. Side by side up here for the race lead, Aiden O'Neill. Almost side by side for the race lead. Huge run down on the inside for Aiden, Connor, and Colton. Let's not forget about Brandon McHugh back here in the fourth place. He's 5th on the timing and scoring for the time being. Side by side for third place. Top two starting to drift away just a little bit. There's that side draft trying to pull the 41 back. That allows a little bit more of a gap between the 41 and the 19. It's going to hurt Connor in the 19 just a little bit. He doesn't have enough of a push to get up onto Aiden. Now he does. Down the back straightaway, huge push. Top two able to stay out in front. 3 wide towards the back. Doesn't look like really anybody has much help to make anything happen there. It's a side by side for third place. Oh man, that 29 gets loose. Trouble, big trouble. That's the big one. Upside down goes the 129. Big trouble there. Got started when the 29 got sideways. Justin Kruger, Stephen Farrell, Benedict Ringer. Benedict's going to try to drive it away. Cliff Adams got a piece of it. Jack Robbins in there as well. I believe the 51 got a piece of it as well. Yeah, that's Jesse Singleton. A lot of guys had to jump in straight, take a tow. Big one happens with 15 laps to go here in Daytona. Well, let's see what we can see from high above. '29 was the first one I saw get sideways. I'm not sure what exactly was the cause. He just got loose getting in there. Got a tag there from the 11, got them both sideways, and Todd Rush got up in there, got a piece of it. Jacob Barker. Barker might have gotten through that. Right on board with Barker here. Wow. Might have hit a couple of guys, like bumped him real quick, but my goodness. So the big one happens here at the end in Daytona. 15 laps to go is when the caution comes out. I'm going to take one last side-by-side break. We'll be right back for the finish. Appreciate you guys.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action. Now, driver. Well,
Back live here for the Half Decent Racing League. 7 drivers lined up right now. Going to get a couple of more that are coming out of the pit lane hopefully soon. A lot of guys taken out in that last crash. Benedict Ringer with damage, Cliff Adams, Stephen Farrell, Kyle Saha, Jesse Singleton, to name a few. Appreciate everybody tuning in live here. TJ Williams, I hate that you're tuning in this way. I'd much rather have you still out there on the racetrack, but glad you're here tuning in with us. One last plug for the night. Premier Racing Setups. They help us out a lot here at DRSN as well. Looking for speed? Premier Racing Setups offers competitive setups for a variety of iRacing series to help you find those extra tenths and improve your consistency on race day. Visit www.premierracingsetups.com and save 15% with code DRSN15. That's valid on individual setup packs. The thing is, when you use our affiliate links and discount codes, you're helping support DRSN and allowing us to continue bringing you live iRacing broadcasts, special events, and commuter racing coverage. We can't thank you enough for your support here at DRSN. Every race has a story. We tell it. Pace truck makes that hard left turn once again. Green flag is in the air. We got 10 of them ready to rock and rumble now for the final 12 laps. Aiden O'Neill able to get a sizable gap. Connor Fuge just behind him. Colton Gardner trying to get in front of Matt Dickerson, but Dickerson has help from his good buddy, that 32 machine. They worked together incredibly for the first half of this race, and now this is the first time in the second half that we've really seen them get put together properly, at least when they're not in the race lead. Gardner trying to get clear of Dickerson, coming up off of turn number 4. Could he potentially swing up and make a move as we come to 11 laps to go here in Daytona? Everybody wants to win here at the World Center of Racing. There's only a few tracks in the world that people dream of winning at from the time that they're born, excluding, say, a home track. But Daytona Indianapolis, and Le Mans. If you can get a competitive win at one of those racetracks, you could consider yourself one of the best in the world. That's what these guys are trying to prove here tonight. They are the best here at Daytona. Of course, we got that points battle. Todd Rush, a little bit of damage from that last crash. Try to stay in this group, try to stay up at the front, stay at least close enough to Connor that if something happens to him, he can take advantage. 10 laps to go here in Daytona. Aiden O'Neill continuing to lead, but things starting to shuffle up on that inside lane. They're starting to close in. Aiden O'Neill, Connor Fuge, Colton Gardner, Zachary Steele, Matt Dickerson able to get down to the inside. Brendan McHugh up to his outside, trying to make something happen. He's got help from the 17 machine, Mark Osier, who made heavy contact with the inside wall earlier in this race, doing a phenomenal job to recover. Got his lap back, got back onto the lead lap, got his car fixed. No more damage on that thing. Moving in the right direction now. Single file for the top 7. Side by side for the 8th place. And you got to wonder if this is kind of falling into some strategies here. Get a little bit late in the race and you don't want to find yourself jumping out of line and losing a bunch of track position. We've seen it how many times? These guys start to get single file at the end of these things. More so, oh, a little bit of a door check there between the 32 and the 12. But more so just to protect their track position, more so than to set themselves up to make moves. 44 looking to the outside, not quite enough to make it happen. No help behind him, but he's still looking. Zachary Steele up in 4th. He's up 15 spots from where he started. 14, rather. He started dead end of the field here in 18th. He's moving up to the outside, trying to take away 3rd place. Little bit of help as he comes up off of turn number 4. Not a lot, though. Do apologize for that. 6 laps to go. Top 2 have not left each other's bumper basically since the restart. Oh, contact there. The 17 gets sideways. Contact there with the 129 of Farrow. Now Ringer going to try to get him back close to the end. As Todd Rush moves up to the outside. These guys shuffling all around in the back of the field. Rush with a little bit. Oh, we got sideways. It's a 44. Matt Dickerson around down the back straightaway. No caution. No caution here. 5 laps to go as they come to the start-finish line. Let's try to get a quick look at what happened to car number 44. Oh, Barker turns him around. He did jump on the radio. Oh, trouble in the back! Zachary Steele gets turned down to the inside. Still no caution. Yeah, he came on the radio and apologized for it. Stephen Farrell there in the 129. He is not on the lead lap, but he is in this lead pack. Jacob Barker doesn't have much help behind him as he tries to close in here in the final 4 laps. Here comes Todd Rush up into 5th place. And if you are Connor Fuge, that is not what you want to see. You want to try to make this move and make something happen. Make a pass for the race lead, for the race win. Todd side by side now with Jack Robbins, who's now going to get the help from car 17. Todd Rush finds himself in a good spot. Now he's got to fight for it. Aiden O'Neill still leads, coming to 3 laps to go. 2nd place, Connor Fuge. 3rd place, Colton Gardner. Jacob Barker trying to close into this group of 4. 3 lead lappers and a lap down car. 3 laps to go, and here comes the 129 up to the outside of the 41. That's going to pull him back a little bit. That might allow Jacob Barker to get a little bit of extra toe. Start to close in on these 2. And with these 2 comes the rest of the... comes the other top 2 just in front of him, the rest of the field. Just barely within drafting distance with 2.5 laps to go. Jack Robbins, Todd Rush, Marco Sierra. Jacob Barker starting to close in. The top 5, 4 Chevys, 1 Ford. That number 19 is running solo. Not going to have any manufacturer help as these guys continue to be side by side. Jacob Barker able to close in. He's right here with 2 laps to go. 1.5 laps down the back straightaway. How aggressive do you get if you're that 12? How aggressive do you get if you're anybody but Aiden O'Neill? Aiden looking for his 1st win on the season. Connor looking for his 2nd. Colton, I believe, looking for his 1st as well. Jacob Barker looking for his 1st. One guy has a chance to get his 2nd win. Here they are on the last lap. Here comes a big run up to the outside for Colton Gardner. He's got a big push from Jacob Barker. They're going to be side by side. 2 tandems down the back straightaway. That 129, that lapped car might be the deciding factor. Down the back straightaway, Colton Gardner is clear for the race lead. Does he jump down and take it? Getting into turn 3, or can the 87 mount a charge? Here comes Barker looking down to the inside. Not quite enough to do it. Gets into the back of the 41. He's going to set him up the racetrack. Big contact with Aiden O'Neill into the outside wall. They're side by side. Coming up off of turn number 4. Dead even as they come into the tri-oval. Who's going to get it? Colton Gardner on the outside. Barker on the inside. It's Colton Gardner who gets it done by 1/100th of a second. Jacob Barker comes home in 2nd. Connor Fuge in 3rd. And much to Connor's disappointment, Todd Rush comes home in 4th place. We'll very likely be able to hold him off in the final standings for the chase. Phenomenal stuff here. Colton Gardner gets it done. Take a look at this. Rocking the outside, the longer distance. Barker tries to shove him up the racetrack and pull down for momentum, but just not enough. Just barely. Colton Gardner able to get it. Now your top three up at the front. Gonna go ahead and see if we can watch Colton burn it down. They're already posed up on the front straightaway for their pictures. What a drive from Colton Gardner. Got a huge bit of help there from Jacob Barker. Jacob tried to take it for himself and had an amazing run to do so. Got that 41 a little bit sideways coming up off of the corner. I heard that. All right, well, let's go ahead. Bring in our race winner. Colton Gardner, it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, dude, phenomenal drive here throughout the course of the race. You found yourself in third place, just kind of hanging out at the end. What did it take to make that move up on the outside? Obviously, I saw the help there from the 12, but did you know that was the call? Like, walk us through those last couple laps.
I had a feeling as long as we could all hold it straight there amongst our group and stuff, we could, because all the 87, the 12, 19, and me, we were all working together, and it all just played out really well. And we had just a great opportunity to battle it out amongst ourselves. It was just the main thing was the wait to make the move at the right time and everything. And for me, it worked. If I could get to the 19 and pull him off of Aiden to bring them both back and Jacob go with me, I knew all of us would have a good battle to the end. And I appreciate Jacob a lot for pushing me there to get us both in position to do that. And then me and Jacob just battling it back to the line, and everything was so much fun to do that with him. And it was really cool to be able to be side by side with him at the line.
Yeah, I mean, incredible finish. And I've got kind of a loaded question. It seemed like you were one of the few people who was really able to make something happen up on the outside. How tough was it to kind of discipline yourself to not make those moves super early and, I guess keep your hand close to your chest at the end?
Mainly just trying to figure out what the car was able to do during the whole race. Luckily, we had a lot of green flag laps to figure out what made the car tick and everything. And thankfully, if you could, just play the draft the right way, we could do everything just right. But the biggest thing was just making sure you got your runs and everything. And if you were in the lines like we were the whole race, just making sure you could give good pushes. Giving good pushes was very crucial, and it was like really sketchy to push. The bumpers seemed a little sticky tonight. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we all could pull it off there.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. I mean, you threw together a beautiful race. Is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong one, such a strong run, getting the win here at Daytona?
I want to thank all the boys over at Blue Ridge Racing for the help, allowing me to come race with them over here in this league and just have some good fun with them. Yeah, and thank everybody at Smoky Mountain Racing. I want to thank French Broad Fire and Rescue and Jiffy Lube, all my partners, sponsors, everybody that helps me put this thing together and be able to drive virtual cars around in circles and have fun doing it.
Awesome stuff, man. You had fun. You looked good doing it, too. Congrats on the win. Good momentum moving up into the playoffs, which let me double check. Yeah, you are in the playoffs. That win definitely solidifies you in there, but in the playoffs with a 9th place points finish, you might have actually passed a couple of guys here with your finish. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, congratulations. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, we'll talk to you again next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for broadcasting.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and bring in our 2nd place finisher. Jacob, it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Man, that was an incredible drive you put together there at the end. We'll first talk to you about those last 5 laps or so. Did you know you were going to have enough to catch up to that pack? And then, how committed were you to the back bumper of that 41? I mean, it seemed like massive commitment until you guys were clear.
I knew if I got within half a second of the rear bumper of the 129 that I was going to be in their draft, and I should have a really good draft to get back to them. But it was going to take 2 or 3 laps to build and get back up there, which is exactly what it did. So I was able to shuffle him out because he was a lapped car fighting for nothing up there, being up with the leaders. And so when I saw Colton shoot high, I owe him a lot. He's a good friend of mine and a good teammate, so I owe him a lot. And hate that I missed out the win by 9/1000ths of a second. But you know what it is what it is. We got to be our 1, 2, 3 tonight, and really, really good points day for all 3 of us heading into the chase. And yeah, I knew that if we got clear, just the 2 of us, we could fight it out. I didn't want to see Aiden get wrecked because he had a rocket ship underneath of him. He's a good friend of mine as well, and I hate that what happened to him. You never want to see a friend who has a shot to win like that get wrecked like that on the last lap. It's unfortunate for him, but you know, sometimes you have to capitalize on others' wrongdoings, not wrongdoings, but you know what I mean. But I also want to apologize to Matt. The way we all got separated from the main pack, that started with me literally just turning him on the back straightaway. I already apologized to him privately, but I also want to apologize on here as well, just to show that I'm not a complete jerk to whoever's watching, and to show that I do have some compassion for those who I race around, and I do respect those that I race around. But like going back to what I was saying, like it was a really good day overall. Really would have loved to get the win for the bonus points towards the chase, but we'll take what we can get. I don't know where I'm seated in the chase, whether it was 4th or 5th. We'll go and hopefully have a shot at it. I know it's really hard with guys like Matt and Cliff and whoever else in the field, but even if we can manage a top 5 out to finish the season in the chase final standings, that's really, really awesome for a rookie season. And back-to-back podiums as well is awesome. 3rd last time out at Iowa, 2nd this time at Daytona, and hopefully a 1st at my favorite track coming up next week. So hopefully to go kick some butt up at Darlington.
Yeah, man, awesome stuff, awesome drive. You pretty much covered everything. I do just want to say, I don't keep the radio on for the public, but I listen in on my own, and I heard you immediately apologize for that incident there with the 44. So I can attest to that was, not an egregious thing. And always apologies, they're appreciated. They're appreciated more after the fact, not necessarily in the moment, but it's
Yeah, and like
I know
said,
that was nothing egregious.
No, definitely not. And Matt and I, we've raced each other respect. We've talked privately. We've helped each other privately. We've shared notes with each other, so he's definitely he's been a good competitor towards me, and we call each other like imaginary teammates just because we share notes. So, like I said, I hate that it happened, but um, you can't take it back now, unfortunately.
No, you just got to move forward to next week. A track you like, Darlington. And I tell you what, man, your team was phenomenal here tonight. 1, 2, 3. What do you have next week, and who do you want to thank for such a strong run?
Definitely the BRR boys, Connor and Colton. We always we prepare hard for these events, no matter what type of track they are, and Aiden as well. Um, like I said, he's a good friend of ours, and we want to help him as much as he helps us. Um, and so we just try to go prepare as much as we can. It definitely was not the easiest night for myself, but when we get the ball rolling, we seem to be um, some of the best on the plate tracks. I hate that we've only gotten. Well, actually, no, excuse me. Correct. I was going to correct myself. We've gotten 2 wins on the plate tracks this year. So both come in at Daytona. Hate that we missed it out at the Talladega Spring Race, but we got Talladega coming up here in about a month and a half in October. So we're already looking forward to that. And like I said, we're looking forward to the chase and excuse me, having a really good end to the season.
Well, awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on the second place. We'll be talking to you again, I'm sure, next week at Darlington.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
All right, we'll bring in third place. Connor, it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Man, we're taking a look at this last lap here, and it looked like you and Aiden were doing absolutely everything right. What do you think you could have done on the last lap there to keep yourselves in contention?
I knew Colton was gonna make the move. I could have tried to predict when he made it and then tried to hold him back, but Aiden pushed me to the win here at the opener for the season, and so I was just dead set on pushing Aiden for the win because I owe him one.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like you guys were two peas in a pod all night. I know you guys were all teammates up front, hoping to get to 1, 2, 3, 4. But what is it like to be able to rely on your teammates at a race like this? You got 100 laps, you got a long way to go, but what does it mean to be able to rely on guys that you know you can get together and work with?
I mean, it's just the use of like you know what each other is thinking. It's like Junior and Tony Stewart. Like they had the same thought process and they could execute it at the same time. And it just felt like that.
It looked like it too, with just a couple of more cars there. You guys all had a chance there at the end. Connor, phenomenal drive here, and I don't know what the playoff standings look like quite yet. I know you were on the outside looking in. You were five behind.
I slipped right in.
Yeah?
Yep,
Is that confirmed?
it is confirmed.
Well, congratulations, Connor Fuge on the final chase spot, dude. Man, that was close at the end. I was looking at the battle with Todd Rush. It came in at 5 points difference. But that podium, it got you where you needed to go.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, I've always seemed to have some sort of look at a plate track, and it happened again where I was able to be up front with people I could trust behind me and in front of me, and so I just stuck with it.
Well, phenomenal drive here, Connor. Congratulations on making the chase. Next week is Darlington. What have you got for us, and who do you want to thank for such a strong run here?
Darlington is a track that is very tricky. I'm gonna be practicing a lot. It's the two separate, turn radiuses is gonna be crazy. I'm excited for it. But I want to thank just Moza, SMR Shop, um, FedEx, Aflac, All Star Auto Parts, Spartan Sim Racing Graphics, who is me and my brother make is that company with our cousin, so we make those paint schemes. Just everyone who has helped me and taught me is just all amazing.
Well, I tell you what, man, everything came to fruition tonight. You and your team came out on top. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Well, that's going to do it here for... Oh, I might have put him in the wrong spot. But that's going to do it here for post-race interviews. Now, the only thing left to do is go through our results of the day. Make sure we got race clicked there. And there we go. Colton Gardner gets the job done. Only led 1 lap today. Jacob Barker in second by 9/1000ths of a second. Connor Fuge comes home in third place. Daytona International Speedway, a 2.5-mile oval, 100 laps, put us to 250 miles. 9 green flag lead changes across 7 different leaders and 7 total cautions for 20 laps. Todd Rush comes home in fourth, gained 12 spots throughout the race to be our biggest mover, our hard charger. Most laps led for today was Brandon McHugh with 37. Fastest lap of the race, your race winner, Colton Gardner, and of course, fastest lap in qualifying goes to Matt Dickerson. Todd Rush comes home in fourth, followed by Jack Robbins, Mark Ossier, Zachary Steele, Matt Dickerson, Aiden O'Neill, and Benedict Ringer rounding out the top 10. Brendan McHugh, just one, Stephen Farrell, Justin Kruger, Cliff Adams, Jesse Singleton, Kyle Soha, Cody Ziroff, and TJ Williamson round out the field with a special shout out to Corey Boudreau, who was our race control and our choose car throughout the course of this race. Well, we can't thank you enough for tuning in here live on DRSN. It has been an absolute blast to call the Half Decent Racing League, and these guys are more than just half decent. I mean, this is incredible racing throughout the course of the race, and these guys, they know each other well. They know what they're capable of, and they know where to push, and how to make it exciting. Did a damn good job of that here tonight, and can only hope you tune in next time. Well, that'll do it for us here on DRSN. I'm Liam Ervig. As always, I like to remind you to do it for Dale, be like Biff, and always keep it rowdy. As you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.